Hello, this is the second session on distributed computing. In this session, I would like to discuss about various challenges faced by distributed computing while its implementation. The first and the foremost one is heterogeneity. As you know, the distributed computing comprises a collection of networks, a collection of various computer hardware, a collection of different operating systems, programming languages of different varieties of programming languages, and implementation of softwares by different developers, and moreover middleware. All these varieties of hardware and software platforms have to work together while implementing the distributed system. That is one of the major challenge while designing, while implementing the distributed system. The second one is the openness. The conformance of each component to the published standard must be carefully tested and verified if the system is to work correctly. This is again a very big cumbersome job. Openness cannot be achieved unless the specification and documentation of the key software interfaces of the components of a system are made available to software developers. But it often bypasses official standardization procedures. So this is going to be a big challenge for while implementing distributed system. The other point is security. Security in terms of confidentiality. That means protection against disclosure to unauthorized individuals. That is a big challenge. Security in terms of integrity, protection against alteration or corruption of data that are sent. Security in terms of availability, protection against interference with the means to access the resources. It is necessary to make the available resources to the public as and when required. At the same time, it should be protected from the malicious users. These are the major challenges with respect to security. The other important point is the scalability. While scaling the system, it is an important feature. It must be scalable. That is a very important feature of distributed system. It cannot be standstill. It is keep on growing. So that is this is unavoidable situation that a system should be scalable. So while a system is scalable, there are challenges. For example, controlling the cost of physical resources. When a resource is added to the system, connectivity and searching algorithm and the software implementation challenges will definitely going to increase. Controlling the performance loss, as the number of users, as the number of application increases, performance loss is very important. So we should avoid or eliminate as far as possible. The next thing is preventing software resources running out. For example, IP addresses. now we use 32-bit IP address. So there is a scarcity for IP address. So as the number of systems increases, we have to look for different implementation of IP addresses in order to accommodate so many devices into the distributed system. Another point is the avoiding of performance bottlenecks. As the system becomes big and bigger, performance bottlenecks will come. So we should avoid performance bottlenecks. These are the points of with respect to scalability. The next important thing is failure handling. We cannot avoid the complete failure. Failures are anyway it will happen. If there is a failure, normally it's a partial failure in the distributed system, although it is not going to affect the complete system. This partial failure is very difficult to detect. Therefore, handling the failure is difficult. The system keeps on working, but identify a particular system's failure is very difficult. The next challenge is for an object to be safe in a concurrent environment, its operation must be synchronized in such a way that its data remains consistent. The files are to be protected because a file stored in the web server are used by many users. There will be alterations. Who should be altered? Who should be allowed to alter the system? What changes should be made? Whether it can be deleted? There should be a synchronized way of working. Otherwise, it will not work as expected. Normally, this can be achieved by standard techniques such as semaphores. While sending messages, there is a waiting state and sending state. So by ensuring that the file has reached the destination properly, it has reached completely. So all these things are ensured by signaling methods like semaphores. It will wait for the message to come. It will give the signal it has reached like that. And these semaphores are used in most operating systems. Another factor is transparency. Is very important. Transparency is defined as the concealment from the user and the application programmer of the separation of components in a distributed system, so that the system is perceived as a whole rather than as a collection of independent components. The user should feel that, even the application programmer should feel that he works on a single system, and the application programmer should have the feeling that this is going to work as a single system. That transparency should be ensured. Otherwise, it is very difficult for them to work on the system, because most of the users are unaware of the underlying technologies used by distributed system. It is not necessary to reveal the complete features or the complexities to the user of a distributed system. Similarly, for the application programmer, he or she should be comfortable developing programs, software applications on the distributed system without much issues, without much struggling. The implications of transparency are a major influence on the design of the system software. It's very important. And the transparency, these are defined in so many documents. One is the ANSA reference model and International Organization for Standardization reference model for open distributed processing. It identifies 8 forms of transparency and it is as shown below. Transparency with respect to access transparency. The first one is access transparency. Access transparency enables local and remote resources to be accessed using identical operations. The second one is location transparency. Enables resources to be accessed without knowledge of their physical or network location. For example, IP addresses, buildings. Concurrency transparency enables several processes to operate concurrently using shared resources without interference between them. Replication transparency enables multiple instances of resources to be used to increase reliability and performance without knowledge of the replicas by user or application programmers. Failure transparency enables the concealment of faults, allowing users and application programs to complete their tasks despite the failure of hardware or software components. The sixth one is mobility transparency. Allows the movement of resources and clients within a system without affecting the operation of users or programs. The seventh and eighth one is performance transparency and scaling transparency. Performance transparency allows the system to be reconfigured to improve performance as load varies. Auto configuration. As the load varies, it does the auto configuration for better performance. The last one is scaling transparency. It allows the system and applications to expand in scale without challenge to the system structure or the application algorithm. And these 8 transparencies are very, very important by implementing distributed system, and there is a challenge also for implementation of each of these items. Now the next point is quality of service. Quality of service means as the system grows bigger and bigger, reliability has to be ensured, security and performance has to be ensured. So these are the main non-functional properties of the system that affect quality of service. Other point is adaptability. It is to meet changing system configurations and resources availability has been recognized as a further important aspect of service quality. So the system should be adaptable because the nature of the system distributed system is very flexible, it is scalable, the application softwares are also implemented in the various hardware platforms, different networking structures are used, different type of networks are used, LAN technologies, WAN technologies, different various technologies are used, so everything should be adaptable to the system. This is the examples of a distributed computing. World Wide Web, massively multiplayer online games, financial trading, stream of video frames that emerges from a digital video camera and the audio connection that a mobile phone call represents. These are the applications with respect to distributed computing. So by this I would like to conclude this session. Thank you very much.